Well, it's great to get our first opportunity this season to catch up with the head football coach at the Naval Academy. They are hosting Fan Fest this Saturday, as well as Media Day. Opportunity for you to get down, see the team, meet the team at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium Saturday from 10 to noon. He's Coach Brian Newberry, and he is with us here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn. It's always great to catch up. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Coach, just take me back, right? I know you've been here for a while, so it's not like some people that come in and it's their first year and they're getting used to it. But what's the best lesson that you learned from your first year as head coach at Navy?
Man, you know what? There's so many things that you learn your first time in the role. And yeah, I've been here at the Naval Academy for a while, so this place is unique and different. So if you were head coach stepping into this role for the first time, didn't know much about the academy, it'd be really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be a pretty big learning curve, but learned a lot in my previous 4 years, working for Coach Nehemiah, and so that part of it, the transition wasn't bad. It's just your first time as a head coach, there's so many things that pop up that that you never thought about, even on a daily basis. But I think some of the big things, big takeaways from the year is just how important the chemistry of your staff is, the chemistry of your football teams, the psyche of your football team, and so many different things. Winning is hard. The margin for error is very, very small, especially here at the academy. And the thing that we didn't do a good job of last year, we weren't a real disciplined football team.
Mm-hmm.
It was way too many self-inflicted wounds, pre-snap penalties, things of that nature that you just can't do here at the Naval Academy. And so we put a renewed emphasis on those things, and we want to be one of the most disciplined teams in the country. And traditionally, Navy's been one of the most least penalized teams in the country. I think we were middle of the conference last year, which is not acceptable for us. So a lot of things to clean up, a lot of things that you learn, and things you can certainly do better. And I certainly feel more comfortable in this role. I think, I told somebody the other day, it's the first time in a year and a half where I felt like I could really breathe, just because I feel like our staff's in such a great place. Our players are in such a good place. We're a year and a half into a strength conditioning program that's new to our players. And so many things are a process, and we're so much farther along with that process now than we were, a year ago. So I think we're a much better football team right now. I think we look different. We're moving different. Players have clear eyes. We've had some continuity around here on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of players back on that side. Got a good amount of players coming back on offense as well. Really pleased with the job Drew Karnick's done in a short amount of time he's been here.
Yep.
And they're much farther ahead at this point than I thought they would be. So all arrows pointing in the right direction up to this point.
I know, it's you didn't come into like a cupboard was bare situation. It's not like at other places. But can you look back on that and say, hey, if that was the floor, if the floor was we were really competitive, we were right in it to the end of the year, I'm good with the overall trajectory of the program?
Yeah, you're speaking of just the overall season last year?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Okay.
Some of the things that I mentioned earlier, my expectations were high, and we're just 2 or 3 plays away from being a 7-win football team, and a lot of those plays were just self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
And football is 25% of the game is chance and luck and breaks, and we weren't able to stay healthy. We played 4 different quarterbacks offensively, and we're banged up on the offensive line for the majority of the year, and that's not to make excuses, but those are some of the things that played into some of our issues. But yeah, so we won one more game we did the year before, but that's not what I was aiming for. We're always trying to maximize who we are and be the best version of ourselves, and I didn't think we did that. I really didn't. So to me, it was a disappointing year. But yeah, we were close. We weren't far off.
Let's follow up. We're chatting with Brian Newberry, Navy football coach. You brought up, obviously, your new offensive coordinator, Drew Karnick. I guess let's talk through 2 sides of it. First, why? Why was he the guy that you wanted for that role? And then number 2, I guess kind of take me through. Like, I would assume this is still going to be an academy offense, right? Like, I don't think that you can change. You can't rewrite the script, can you?
Right. No, we're not going to the spread, obviously.
Right.
Drew was a guy that I vetted when I first got the job, and early on in the process, he kind of took his name out of it because the timing just wasn't right for him and his family. And so I've known about Drew for a long time and kind of admired from afar the job that he's done at several places, going back to Ryan Hart, his first head coaching job, and then obviously a phenomenal job at Lenore Ryan. And to be a 9-win playoff team at Mercer is pretty exceptional. And he's a guy that's had success offensively everywhere that he's been. Really, really smart football coach, great leader. He's shown the ability to adapt and evolve to his players. The system they were running. You watched last year's Mercer film, and it looks very different than what he was doing at Lenore Ryan and before that. And he kind of evolved that way because of his personnel and for recruiting reasons and some of those type things. But his roots are in a winning T system, and yes, the formula doesn't change around here, and it's going to look a little different, but to be able to run the football, possess the ball, chew the clock up, keep our defense off the field as much as possible. That's the formula for success around here. And then being unique and different, and he's shown that everywhere he's been. Super creative. So some really good things. You call it the sling tee or the millennial wing tee, whatever you want, with some triple mixed in there as well, with a very simple but complex, passing game off of those things. It's a proven system that he's had a ton of success with. I think he's a really smart coach, a great play caller, knows how to attack what people are doing, and so it was really this time around a no-brainer for me, and consider it one of the best recruiting jobs I've done because it took about 2 weeks to get that done, and so I know he's fired up
to the point. Like, he had a pretty good job, right? Like, this was not a sure thing. That it was just an easy decision to make.
Yeah, and no question. And his parents live down in Georgia. His wife's parents, Amelia's parents, are down there. That was home for them. And like you said, he had a good job, sitting head coach and coming off of a playoff year, and signed a new contract down there. A lot of good things going. And turned me down the first time, but I knew he wanted to do it. So I kept hammering away, and eventually got it worked out. And I know he's tickled to be here, and already loves this place, and loves the young man he gets to coach on a daily basis.
Coach, I want to ask you about Blake, but I guess I need to start the conversation by saying, is it definitively Blake? Like, is there? I know there's always a level of competition, but is Blake definitively your quarterback going into the season?
Yeah, he's definitively the number one right now, but that's not to say there's not a competition between him and Braxton right now. And I think those are two guys that have made a ton of progress. I think the two guys that we can win with. We got to continue to get better, obviously, but I think both of those young men have a really good grasp and a really good comfort level with what we're doing offensively right now. And now we're going to have to find some depth after that in these next 4 weeks.
Talk me
but
through.
I feel really good about those two guys.
Yeah, I want to start. So Blake specifically, Blake Horvath. What did you see from him? What made you say, like, this is our guy? This is the one, to at least take the number one spot moving forward.
Yeah, because he took control and command of the offense in the spring, and he looks comfortable out there. I think he's made a ton of progress. Drew's done a great job with him. Ivan's done a great job with him. He's throwing the ball better. He's changed his body, in the off season. Last year he was, for all intents and purposes, he was a redshirt freshman. Right. It broke his hand early on, and I don't know that he ever had any real comfort level with what we were doing last year in a new system, and we were a little bit all over the place. For good reason, but I just think the comfort level, and he's a really good athlete. What he showed in the spring to me is his ability to make plays and extend plays and do some really, really savvy things. I think he's really cerebral, really smart, has all the tools, and he's just going to continue to get better and better.
Obviously, your calling card, the defensive side of the ball, you guys, have been very good. but it really does jump out at me, the leadership that you have on that side of the ball. Guys like Ray Lane and guys like Colin. Like how much easier is your job? Because it seems like it just continues. It goes from one leader to the next, and obviously, it's a place where it's pretty. I guess there's something about the Naval Academy and finding leaders too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of good ones, and it was it was a struggle to pick the captains this year because of that, which is a good thing, and I think it's one of the reasons why I feel good about our football team right now is because of that leadership. You talk about coach-led teams can be good, but your player-led teams are the ones that can be special. And I think that's what we are right now. But yeah, I feel good about where we're at on defense. We got 7 returning starters and a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps for us. A lot of talented young players. Landon Robinson had a tremendous offseason at nose. I think he's going to come into his own this year. And having Ramos back is big. Ray Lane's an exceptional athlete, and Biddy Williams has played a bunch of snaps back there. We've got depth at corner, which we since 19 when I got here we've not had. So there's a lot of really positives going on right now, and just there's a standard on that side of the ball and an expectation of how you play in regards to your effort and your physicality, and like I said, we've got good continuity on that side of the ball, and it's partly because of the players. I feel good about it, but it's also because of the staff and the job that Coach Volker's done, taking over as the coordinator. Adding a few of his own wrinkles, and I think he's one of the best things about getting promoted here was I think I was more excited to promote PJ to coordinator than I was to step into the head coaching role because he's outstanding. It's been a long time coming for him, and the entire staff on that side of the football is just the way they work together, and it's a beautiful thing.
I know how much the guys over on that side, and I've heard from plenty of them over the years, how much they love PJ, so that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Coach, you mentioned earlier, obviously, the penalties from a year ago, the self-inflicted wounds. Is that the single biggest, like in making that next jump and going from competitive to, competing to win the conference and making sure you get the trophy back, the big goals that you guys have, are there other things that stand out to you that are going to be the biggest in terms of make or break in reaching those goals this season?
Yeah, well, I think you said, the self-inflicted penalties, especially where we were offensively last year, we got to jump off sides, and it's 1st and 15. That was an uphill battle for us, especially because we were struggling. But we got to get better on the offensive side of the football. We got to be able to sustain drives and eat the clock, and 17 points a game in this league doesn't get you a whole lot of places, and so we're better right now than we were a year ago. I know that. I think we've improved dramatically on offense, and at the academy, right, at the Naval Academy, you cannot beat yourself here. As I mentioned earlier, just the margin for error just won't allow for that, and so I think if we can get back on track there, which I fully anticipate that we will, and possess the football, take care of the football, score some more points than we did last year, and continue to get better on defense. I think that's a good combination.
All right, last one for you. What about the helmet communication? You guys using it this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to work through that in camp and figure out how we can best take advantage of it. And it's new. We're still gonna have to signal everything in like we always do, but there's definitely some things you can do to take advantage of it, on both sides of the football.
Good. I assume that it's something that you're happy about that's come to the sport.
Yeah, I think so. It's I'm happy about it. I'm not discouraged about it by any means. We're still working through how to best use it and those kind of things, and how it helps us here at Navy, but I know we're going to figure all that out.
Can you envision a day in the future where the elaborate signs are gone from college football? Is that day coming to the sport?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. But you're talking to some NFL guys, these communication headsets, they go down from time to time.
That is true. Yeah.
Really, the way you prepare, you're going to have to prepare like you always did. Just figure out how to use those to your benefit.
FanFest this Saturday, 10 a.m., Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis. Opportunity for you to just get down, check out the Midshipmen, meet the players, meet the coaches, say hi to everybody. It's an incredible event. Again, Saturday, 10 a.m. at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Brian Newberry, can't wait to continue our conversations, obviously, as the season goes on. Really always wishing the best of luck to you and to your team. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us this morning.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Glenn. Good talking to you.